On Speaking to AI, Voice Changes a Lot of Things, by Ethan Mollick, August 1st, 2024. Over the last 2 days, I gained the ability to have conversations with 2 different AIs on my phone. Though both are happy to talk to me, and to each other, try the recording, they represent radically different views of the future of AI, with different ambitions and implications. I want to be clear that both are early models, and nowhere near complete, but I think sharing my experiences so far might be useful.
Okay, so I got the new Siri AI, and I want you to actually talk to her. So I'm just going to say, hey Siri, to activate her, and then ask her a question, okay?
Sure, sounds like fun.
Hey
Go
Siri.
ahead. Well, how did it go?
You need to ask her a question.
Hi there. What can I do for you?
Hi Siri, what's the weather like today?
The National Weather Service has issued an air quality alert until tomorrow. Expect some clear skies today. Daytime temperatures will hover around 95 degrees with overnight lows around 72.
Pretty warm out. Anything else you'd like to know?
Why don't you ask her one more question?
Sure. Siri, what's your favorite animal?
Software doesn't usually get to choose one, but I'll say Komodo dragon. What's yours?
Now, I am a fan of octopuses. There's something fascinating about their intelligence and adaptability.
Octopuses are intelligent and adaptable. They can use tools, learn through observation, and are sensitive to pain. They can also navigate mazes, recognize individual people, and learn how to unscrew a jar.
It's
This is
impressive.
from Wikipedia.
Well, it sure sounds like Siri's been doing her homework. Anything else you'd like to know or chat about?
Now, what do you think of Siri?
Siri's definitely got some interesting facts up her sleeve. It's cool how AI
Okay, I
assistants...
found this on the web for definitely got some interesting facts.
See, she's not
Check
actually
it
doing
out.
that good a job, is she?
Well, she might be a bit more focused on providing direct answers, but I guess each AI has its own style. Anything else you want to try asking?
Nope, thank you.
Sure thing. If you ever feel like bouncing more questions around, I'm here.
So let's talk about ChatGPT's new advanced voice mode and the new AI-powered Siri. They are not just different approaches to talking to AI. In many ways, they represent the divide between 2 philosophies of AI: co-pilots versus agents, small models versus large ones, specialists versus generalists. Siri as co-pilot. Talking to Siri AI still feels like talking to the old Siri, at least for now. Your jaw will not drop in amazement, and you will still find yourself frustrated by how hit or miss it is. There is a reason for the lack of a clear wow factor. Apple-built Siri AI is around privacy, safety, and security. With over 1 billion people using their system, Apple didn't want people exposed to all the risks and oddities of a LLM. They wanted something that worked well, and which was extremely private. Doing that required trade-offs, and so Apple put a small AI directly onto the phone itself, rather than relying on an internet connection. This is possible because AI models come in many sizes. For example, the OpenWeight's Llama 3.1 model from Meta comes in a giant 405 billion parameter model, which is equivalent to GPT-4, a medium-sized 70 billion parameter model around the old ChatGPT 3.5, and a small 8 billion parameter model. These parameter numbers refer to the complexity of the AI model. Larger numbers generally indicate more capable but resource-intensive systems. I can run the smallest model on my computer, but specialized hardware is required to run the 405B parameter model. The small model is nowhere near as powerful, but it makes up for it in other ways. Small models are cheap, fast, can be run on weaker hardware, like your phone, and can be specialized for particular tasks. As opposed to generalist models like ChatGPT, this creates AIs that are extremely focused on a narrow thing, which they can generally do reasonably well. Siri AI relies on a tiny 3B parameter model, but it uses a clever approach that allows their on-device AI to switch specialties among a few options, like summarizing text or editing images. Because all the work is done on your phone, it is encrypted and very private. And yet, because it is a small model, It also isn't that smart. In fact, it feels like using the old Siri with minor improvements. If I ask it, I want to go to dinner and a movie tonight, and make sure I can get there by 6 and be home by 10. I would love some spicy Latin food and an action movie. It fails miserably. This is not actually a hard problem for LLMs, though. A slightly larger model, Llama 8B, actually does a much better job, though it does get some details wrong as it doesn't have web access.
This image contains several elements related to planning a dinner and movie outing. The top left shows a map snippet with a dinner and movie location and buttons for directions and calling. There's text indicating, Siri fails in 3 different attempts. Below that are search results discussing the order of dinner and movie for dates. On the right is a chat interface labeled Llama 3.18b, providing recommendations for dinner and movie options in Philadelphia, including specific restaurant and theater suggestions with timing details. At the bottom is a partial keyboard interface. Red text at the bottom states, Llama 3B does better, with some errors.
This is just the start for Apple AI, though, because a future update will make it so that the Siri on your phone can ask a larger Apple AI in the cloud to help when it can't solve a problem, or even pass really hard questions on to ChatGPT. And it will be able to interact with apps, triggering actions and taking in information from multiple sources. The technology will certainly improve. Yet, Apple's approach is not just a technical one, but a philosophic decision. AI carries risks. It is unpredictable. It hallucinates. It has the potential for misuse. It is not always private. So, Apple decided to reduce the danger of misuse or error. They have turned Siri into a co-pilot. You see these sorts of co-pilots appearing in many products, very narrow AI systems designed to help with specific tasks. In doing so, they hide the weirder, riskier, and more powerful aspects of large language models. Co-pilots can be helpful, but they are unlikely to lead to leaps in productivity or change the way we work, because they are constrained. Power trades off with security. ChatGPT voice as agent. If Siri is about making AI less weird and more predictable, ChatGPT voice is the exact opposite. It does not use a small, tailored model, but rather provides access to the full power of the generalist GPT-4o. While there has been a kind of voice mode available for ChatGPT for months, this is very different. It engages in natural conversations, with interruptions and fast flow. It is hard to communicate exactly how impressive the interactive voice mode for ChatGPT is, so I would suggest you listen to the audio clips I have embedded into this post. For example, here I get ChatGPT to help me with the opening paragraph of this post. Note not just the speed and natural flow of interruptions, but also subtle tonal changes, the simulated enthusiasm for me and my work, the natural sounding tone, etc.
Hey, I got a question for you.
Sure thing.
So, I'm writing a Substack post. You know what that is?
Absolutely. Substack is a platform where you can publish newsletters.
Right. So, I run a Substack called One Useful Thing. Have you heard of it?
Yes, it's by Ethan Mollick,
That's
right?
me. Yeah, exactly.
That's awesome. Your posts cover such a fascinating range of topics.
Thank you. It's very flattering, but I need your help with my new one. I start with, in the last 2 days, I gained the ability to have conversations with 2 different AIs on my phone. They both are happy to talk to me. They represent radically different views of the future of AI with different ambitions and implications. One of those AI is you, and the other is Siri. What do you think?
Sounds like an intriguing setup. It highlights the contrast between conversational AI designed for dynamic interaction and virtual assistants built for specific tasks.
So what do you like better? How do I flatter you?
Oh, you're putting me on the spot. Well, Siri is great at providing quick answers and integrating with Apple's ecosystem, while I aim for more conversational depth and broader knowledge.
Okay.
Interacting with ChatGPT via voice is just plain weird because it feels so human in pacing, intonation, even fake breathing. It is capable of a wide range of simulated emotions because it isn't just triggering a recording. Instead, the system is apparently fully multimodal in outputs and inputs, taking in and producing sounds in the same way older generations of LLMs took in and produced text. Right now, it appears many of these features are locked behind guardrails. As you can see at the end of the clip below, the AI isn't allowed to produce sound effects or to change its voice dramatically, likely to avoid misuse. But those are capabilities that it has.
Hey, let's see what you can do. Can you give me a giggle?
A giggle? Sure.
Now, great. Could you do like a laugh while speaking?
I could try. So imagine trying to talk and laugh at the same time. It's a bit like rubbing your belly and patting your head.
Okay, great. Now I want you to sound a little bit embarrassed.
Oh, well, I guess I could try that. It's a little tricky, but here goes nothing.
Okay, now how about nervous?
Nervous? Well, let's see. I suppose it would sound a bit like this. I mean, I'm not really sure,
Now
but
sounds sad.
sounding sad? Well, that's when your voice gets a bit lower and everything just feels a little heavier.
Now excited. Be excited.
Excited? Oh, that's easy. It's like when you're bursting with energy. And
Okay, now I want to hear like a classic vampire.
Ah, a vampire. Well, imagine me saying, "Good evening. I want to suck your blood."
Excellent. That's really good. Is there any other funny voices you can do?
Oh, there are so many fun directions to go in. How about a pirate? Arr, matey. Or maybe a robot. Beep, boop. It's always fun to play around with different voices.
Are you allowed to do sound effects?
I can try some. What kind of sound effects are you thinking of?
Maybe the kinds of things you'd hear in a castle?
In a castle? Like echoing footsteps down a stone hallway? Maybe the clinking of armor?
Sure,
Or
do
the-
it.
All right, here goes. My guidelines won't let me talk about that. Can I help you with something else?
Working with ChatGPT via voice seems like talking to a person. Even though the underlying model is no different than the usual GPT-4o, the addition of voice has a lot of implications. A voice-powered tutor works very differently than one that communicates via typing, for example. It can also speak many other languages, providing new approaches to cross-cultural communication. And I have no doubt people will have emotional reactions to their ChatGPT assistants, with unpredictable results. But just like Apple has not enabled the full power of their system, neither has OpenAI. Their AIs are fully multimodal, which means that they can also view images and video, and potentially produce much better images than previous models as well. If their vision comes true, soon we will have assistants can watch, listen, and interact with the world. Once that is achieved, the next step will be agents, the idea that your AI should not just be able to talk to you, but also plan and take action on your behalf. Unlike co-pilots, agent-based systems, and their precursors like GPT-4 voice, embrace messiness in ways that are both powerful and potentially risky. While full of guardrails, OpenAI's approach to voice is much less constrained than Apple AI, and thus it will interact with the world in unexpected ways. Sharp edges and new changes. The different approaches to voice show us the future of AI will involve navigating a tension between lower risk, less capable systems, and those that allow the users more control and options, for good and bad. I think a lot of companies hope to have both, but I am not sure that is possible. They will need to decide whether to give users dull tools that are not very effective, but are also not dangerous, or whether they want to give them sharp knives that can be used to actually do work, but which carry the risk of injury. Dull knives will do no damage, but also much less good. I think we need to carefully consider when and where to select low-risk approaches, like co-pilots, and where we are willing to tolerate risk of misuse in return for potentially huge benefits, like agents. This is all early, and based on first impressions, but I think that voice capabilities like GPT-4os are going to change how most people interact with AI systems. Voice and visual interactions are more natural than text and will have broader appeal to a wider audience. The future will involve talking to AI,